Yes, sir. Sir, we are waiting for Chabra, sir. Okay. Good evening, Chabra, sir. Chabra, sir, are you there? Chabra, sir, are you there? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, Neha ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
So, good evening, esteemed members of Team Research Foundation of India, distinguished schedule expert Dr. Shesht Chabra, sir, and valued participants.
Good evening, ma'am.
I'm Dr. Neha Jain, the program coordinator, extending a warm welcome to each of you on behalf of Research Foundation of India for the 7 days training program and FDP on the practical applications of ICT tools and online teaching in today's dynamic educational landscape. Today marks the beginning of this enriching journey, and we are honored to have with us Dr. Shesht Chabra, sir, a highly respected and strategic research expert who will lead an enlightening session on responsibilities of teachers and higher education institutions. Before proceeding, I would like to acknowledge our organizers and sponsors. This program is organized by Research Foundation of India and RFI-CARE in collaboration with BPIT. We also extend our heartfelt gratitude to all our sponsors, including JHERF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc. Now, allow me to share the commendable initiatives taken by Research Foundation of India. RFI is a dedicated organization advancing social upliftment, enhancing the quality of higher education, and promoting Indian research through a variety of events such as international and national conferences, seminars, workshops, and symposiums. RFI is committed to fostering intellectual exchange on a global scale to inspire innovation and contribute to the growth of knowledge for the betterment of humanity. Our aim is to elevate the educational process through rigorous research and practical applications, and we have proudly partnered with numerous leading universities across India. RFI's esteemed community includes faculty, researchers, graduate students, and other professionals, and we take pride in our independence from government funding. RFI has organized over 1,000 international conferences, workshops, FDPs, and symposiums worldwide. Our reach is spanned across India and into Asia with 87 chapters in India and 18 chapters internationally divided into 5 zones: West, East, South, North, and Central. Now, it's my privilege to introduce our distinguished expert, Dr. Shesht Chabra, sir, a luminary in the educational field. With over 2 decades of teaching experience, he brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise. His academic journey, culminating in a PhD in labor welfare, reflects his dedication to scholarship and research. He is currently an associate professor at Day-1 College Business School in Indore, and his contributions extend beyond academia. An accomplished author and respected reviewer, his work has made significant impacts both nationally and internationally. His affiliations with prestigious journals and editorial boards reflect his commitment to academic excellence. Beyond his academic endeavors, his mentorship and leadership in fostering entrepreneurial spirit are deeply valued. His involvement in various professional associations and his recognition by esteemed institutions including the Rotary Club, Amity Business School, and EMG-SSM Trust underscore his impact as a thought leader. He exemplifies innovation and excellence, inspiring both educators and students. So this is just a glimpse of his remarkable profile. He is truly one of the most esteemed intellectual experts on these platforms. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neha ma'am, and thank you for your kind words. I'm overwhelmed by your kind words. I believe it's some of exaggeration, but nonetheless, thank you, Neha ma'am. Very good evening to all, everyone present, all my respected colleagues who have joined in from different parts of this country. I extend also a very warm good evening to my RFI family. Uh, Saurabh Jain sir, Gupta sir, especially Ajay Jain sir and Neha ma'am. She has been conducting these sessions very wonderfully. So thank you everyone for giving us this platform where I can interact with people from different parts of I believe different walks of faculties. The people from, I believe, people who are listening to me right now, they come up from a different idea or different different faculties of teaching, and obviously they are also from different parts. So we represent a diverse culture, we represent a diverse understanding of teaching and whatnot. So initially when this idea of uh, things were given to me, that what are the responsibilities of teacher, and I really felt that should I be actually talking about responsibilities of teacher to my distinguished guest or distinguished colleagues, because as if you have gone as a teacher at some institution, and I believe all of you might have 3 or 4, at least 5 years of experience, at least, if I may say so. Okay, so with what should I talk to my colleagues on this idea of responsibility to teachers? But then I have out of my experience on different platforms, I have picked up some points which I would like to discuss. Now, but I begin this discussion, I have invited a guest with me, Neha Sharma ma'am. She is a entrepreneur. She is a teacher entrepreneur. So I have invited, I requested. She is not keeping well, but on my request, she is here. So Neha Sharma ma'am, good evening. I extend a warm welcome to you on this platform of ours.
Very good evening to you, sir. Very good evening to you, Neha ma'am, as well. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be around all the educationalists here around. Thank you so much for having me here once again.
Great. So kind of you, ma'am, that despite of your health not being keeping up to the mark, up to the level she is down with fever, but she agreed to my insistence. I would take this liberty to use this word. She agreed to my this insistence of being here with us. Ma'am, so I would I have got certain questions to you, which as I introduced you, that you are a teacher entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So. I would like to ask certain questions to you, that what I come straight to the question number one, that what do you feel?
Before you start, I
Yeah,
just want to say that with your extensive experience in education
Oh God.
and your background in teaching, I think you would be suitably answering all these questions that you would be asking me. In advance, I'm saying this.
No, no, ma'am. I definitely feel. See, I definitely feel, ma'am, that there is always an addition to what to the pool of knowledge. That this is what I should be saying.
Yeah,
So with
I'll
your with,
try my
with
best.
so kind of you. So to say this, ma'am, what do you feel that what should be the responsibility, or what are the responsibility of teachers that you look forward to at your in your premises at your school? So what are the as an entrepreneur I'm asking.
Yeah. Thank you for the question once again, because I know pretty well that you can answer it better than me. First of all, being in a school as the captain of the ship, I think teachers are the backbone of the education industry, right? And the responsibilities, first of all, I think they have to be sincere with what they are doing. They should be able to give their 100%. They should be able to take care of the kids. Like there are two scenarios. One, I'm talking from the like a school thing, that you have to be very like extraordinary level of patience has to be there, because you never know what you come across, right? So first is your sincerity towards the job that you would be doing. You should be able to deliver what you say when you are hired at some college or school or any place. You should be able to deliver what you say, right? So that's number one point. Second point is your patience in dealing with students, and all the things that happen in different premises, like any organization. So you should be able to take care of that personally. Another thing I sincerely think is you should be able to work in a team, because you never know. There are good days, there are bad days. So you never know when you need help from other colleagues of yours, right? So you should be able to work in a team, and of course, um, students, you should be empathetic towards the students. You never know from which background they are coming. You cannot just make an impression of some student on the basis of the first meeting, because the more you get to know the person, the more you get to know how they are, right? You should not bias your decision on certain school kid or a college kid on what um, on how they have attended your class. So it's just like you have to give it a time. You should be able to, as I said, you should be able to be patient with the kids, right? So I think these are the main things that you should take care in any profession, I must say.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, since you put up a point that you are into a steering position, you are into a captain of the ship
Yeah.
position. So I have got a second idea, or I have got a second. I would like to know second thing from you.
Yeah.
That as an institution, how can you develop such? Can an institution do something to develop or make sure that this qualities are developed as a responsibility in teacher?
Definitely. I think that's the main responsibility of the institution. They have to set the responsibility straight. Like, on the day one, the whoever, the principal or the director of the institution, they should be able to tell that, this is your team and these are our guidelines. You should not cross these. And, if you need help, speak up. If you should be able to give that liberty to the teachers or any staff member to speak up to you. They can come up to you anytime and they can speak up. I think these are the main things any organization should do if they want to keep teachers or any worker for working with them for a longer time.
That's great. I believe that should be actually implemented. The third question I have got that you at one point of time you said, ma'am, that you know you should work as a team.
Yes.
So at times there are politics. When there are people, there are politics.
It's everywhere.
Okay, it's everywhere.
Excuse me.
So as a captain, again, as a captain of the ship, what do you do to make sure that politics, does happens, but it does not, uh, outrightly, it takes over someone else.
See, um, As long as my experience goes, when I have worked abroad in Australia, we used to have this, we used to call this round table meetings. So I followed the same culture here as well. So even if there is a small thing, we discuss in a group, not with a one person. There is no biasness. I don't go and talk to just one person. I call up the team. I take each and everyone's views so that they feel like they are a part of team. And once all the people are gathered, there is no backbiting because you are all at front, you are at the round table. So the politics has minimized. Another thing, as I said, on the day one, you have to set this rule straight that there should be no politics. Cannot think of yourself as a superior because you have got more degree or you have got more experience, because everyone is doing their bit, and that's how the company or an organization or a school college works. So I think that's very important, that there should be a transparency between the topmost director or principal and the teachers.
Great, ma'am. There should be. Last question to bother you, ma'am. I won't take much of your time. I know that you're not too good with your throat. Ma'am, the next stakeholder. We have talked about teachers. We have talked about students. We have talked about team members. We have talked about the director or the principal. One of the most important stakeholder in education are parents. So, how would how do you look into that stakeholder again? How do you feel that teachers should be looking into that?
Yes, it's a very good question, because as I said, teachers are the backbone.
Yeah.
We people, we take the admission, we give them syllabus, and teachers are the one who are dealing with the students, the parents, the problems day in and out. So I think teachers should be trained enough and are confident enough to deal with any sort of condition that may arise, and they should be able to check in with the students. Like I said earlier, in the responsibility of the teacher that I mentioned, that they should be able to have that empathetic feel inside them, right? So they should be able to maintain that chart. If the student is working very well for first 2 months, and then suddenly the graph drops or something happens, they should be able to communicate it with the parents. I think it is very important in this era of Instagram and Facebook. You never know what kid is going through. So I think that's where the main responsibility of an empathetic teacher arrives. Like, they need to communicate with the parents, and that's how they can bond the parent with the organization. So the parent won't look for another option, or the student, his life or her life is saved, and they are looking for like when they go out, they look for a role model. So even if you cannot be a role model, just have an empathetic ear towards them. So you never know, when these things work out. And because at the end of the day, we belong to this country, Guru Shishya Parampara. So it's very important that we always remember this thing in back of our mind, and we do what best we can do as what we call partnering with the parents and the betterment of the kids, right? So I think this thing can be done by teachers only. No director or principal of the student institution can do that. So I'm sorry with my throat.
I understand, ma'am. I understand. It's so kind of you that you have given us the time. I won't trouble you, though I have some more questions for you, but I won't trouble you much with your throat. So thank you very much, ma'am. It's indeed a pleasure to have you on this platform with us. And
speaking in front of all of you, esteemed people. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
It's
Neha, ma'am.
great. Okay. So that was Neha Sharma, ma'am. As I told you, a teacher entrepreneur. She has worked at Australia also for, I believe, almost as a good part of 6 or 7 years. She has been at Australia also in different capacities. She has worked. So, so hence I wanted that to listen from her that what is management perspective of having a as a responsibility to teachers. So with this idea of ma'am, I'm thankful that she agreed for being with us uh, today on this platform. Let me begin with this, my presentation on what, that would be more of an experience sharing. Okay, I don't, as I told you, my disclaimer still applies the same. We all are, all my colleagues, respected colleagues, are well versed with what should be the responsibility. So I don't want to, to give them any gyan or any do's and don'ts. I don't have any do's and don'ts. No, I just want to share my experiences or my perspectives on this. And most importantly, I would like every one of you to be uh, interactive. So should you have any thing to point out or to say or to answer, I would request all of you to or any one of you to please raise your hand, something like this. Okay, so that I know that you want to speak something. So you are most welcome to do so. Okay, so let me give you a basic of, this is what I personally believe, that if you are there as a teacher, irrespective of what you earn, what you don't earn, absolutely, that's a livelihood. That's one part of the entire story, but it's primarily a responsibility. This is what I keep telling to my management, to all the managements where I have worked, and I tell it on to all my, I have put that in my presentation also. When I say that it's not a profession, it's a responsibility, I strongly tell everyone that students are not a customer. Okay, students are not a customer. They are, you know because as a customer, I may not be able to serve them better types. I understand that we are into a service industry, and I would, as things unfold, I would be talking about why and or how does this idea came up, that things get onto this thing. So essentially, it's our moral responsibility, what Neha ma'am pointed out, that the Guru Shishya Parampara. So essentially, it's our responsibility towards towards the students, towards the parents who are spending their hard-earned money. So it's our responsibility, which should be the concept of duty. I would be talking about that later. So hence, strongly, I feel that it's a responsibility. Okay, so it's not only a livelihood, it's not only a means of livelihood. Okay, and that is what so with the due respect to all the gurus who have taught all of us. Okay, and strongly I feel that you might be receiving such type of maybe greetings on Teachers Day or on Guru Purnima. Okay, and think about that how blessed we are, that it's only the teachers who actually people take pride in bowing down to their feet, even publicly. It doesn't happen for any CEO or managers, or nothing would happen. Okay, like this would happen, but people take this pride in bowing down to our feet, touching our feet, taking blessings from us. They still believe that one of the noblest professions that we are actually into. So when I say this, as as a responsible teacher, let me show you something. Let me show you something. I put.
How you doing? All right, guys. To Kill a Mockingbird, Chapter 2. Open up your books.
Chapter 1.
Hello?
Hey, it's John. Sorry to play something like this.
What's going on?
Can I ask a question about tonight's homework?
Of course.
So probably this is something that that I inspires us. That shows that as a teacher, what Neha ma'am was saying, that you need to connect with people beyond the so-called. We don't have since connection does not require any syllabus. Okay, so it's up to us that we all might have. Okay, we all might have such so-called tough students or hard to crack type of nuts students. Okay, so what we do is that we need to that's where innovation in teaching I strongly believe comes in. So these are responsibilities of a teacher. I'm not getting into explaining all this. As I told you, we all are well aware of such type of things. So I'm not getting into all these responsibilities one by one that I talk about this thing. But yes, definitely you would believe that at times there are odd hours. At times we are in a maybe we are attending a family function, we are on a leave, something like that, and some student calls up. So what do we do? What do you do primarily? You may be on leave, you may be in a family function, and some student has called up for some issue or some problem. What would you do? Or what do you do actually? It might have happened to you, yes? Yes, Isha Sharma ma'am, please.
Uh, Good evening, sir. I asked them to call me back after some times as I was on leave. Generally, I do this.
Okay. So might be Isha Sharma ma'am, while you are asking them, we just ask anyone that it's something, there is something very, very urgent or pressing, or can we discuss it tomorrow when I would be back at my place?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what in general we would do. That's in general that we do. Rather than banging on the phone, this is what in general we would be doing. That. And that is what that's what Navita ma'am says. I generally take their calls. Generally, teachers would be doing that. Okay, it's not that I am on leave and I can't help it types. Okay, so I'm not doing anything for you. So, but we need to understand one thing, that uh, there is always a life outside. That's great. Dipensar says that I always answer them. That's great. What I said. All respected colleagues of mine, they have got a different idea or ideology actually. Okay, so so but we have got, as a teacher, we have got that life outside the school also. That is where a work-life balance comes in. So how do you feel that you would be able to manage that work life? We teach, if you come from an HR background, or if you teach, if you come from a management background, we generally talk about work-life balances. What do you do? Or let me reframe the question. Do you feel that after being a teacher, your work-life balance has actually been disturbed. It's okay if you want to answer it. If you don't want to, it's Kritika Singh ma'am, Anvesha
So
ma'am.
yes, sir. So good evening, sir. So
Good evening, ma'am.
my work-life balance was definitely affected when I was working in a private institution. It was a very well reputed institution. It is a very well reputed institution.
Okay,
But currently, I have been selected for a government institution in a central university. So
great.
as of now, I'm feeling that my work-life balance has been restored. So this is the
Mm-hmm.
kind of faith that has been restored,
Okay.
and definitely the institutional framework